interesting. I mean, it gets my interest. You tell me, well, we've got this prospect. He throws 100. Then you've got my interest. I'd love to see him. I'd love to see how that works because 100 is better than 93. It is. It makes a difference. But there's stuff. There are issues about command and other pitches, secondary pitches, because you can't throw it too hard for these big league hitters. I mean, I'm convinced if it would only take about a year if you were shooting a ball out of a cannon before these hitters would catch up, and if that's all if it was just about speed. Now, having said that, if it's not all just about speed, and you've got a good slider, and you develop a changeup, then 100 miles an hour is really good. Now you really have something. And what I like about Graterol, and it's the first time I saw him last night pitch an inning. And the thing that struck me was how easy his delivery is. He doesn't look like he's max effort. I mean, he's throwing 98 and 99 last night. And it doesn't look like he's not altering his mechanics. He's not humping up and trying to, throw it as hard as he can. It just looks like that's what he's got. He just has a nice, strong, easy delivery, and the ball jumps out of his hand. And that made me as excited as anything. And that and the fact that three pretty good Boston hitters got hit on just below the label all the way to the thumbs. And he got three of the weakest outs you're going to see throwing 99 in under guys' hands. So, Kay, I'm interested. You got me interested, kid. I mean, I love his delivery. I love how easy, how perfectly in sync with his body his arm looks like it can be over time. And I love the way the ball and it's a fluid delivery, and the ball just jumps out of his hand. That was pretty good. And to your point, he's not going to come out throwing no hitters as a starter or striking out every hitter that he sees. He's going to get some lumps, and these guys are good. But from what I saw last night, I think the hype is worth some interest here.
Oh yeah, I really do think he's going to be a very good major league pitcher. But I'm a little haunted by the Fernando Romero experience, where he was great in the minors, he was great in the big leagues, and he hit a wall, and he still hasn't gotten over that wall. It just, maybe Graterol's a different human. I certainly love the stuff. I always have a little bit of caution that probably doesn't match the fan enthusiasm always.
Well, I understand the fan enthusiasm. We're looking for pitching, and a guy throws 100. I mean, the Twins haven't had a guy like that could throw 100 and be effective. And if this is the guy, I mean, everybody wants this to be the guy, and I hope it is. I hope it is too. I really do. But he's 20 years old, and he's rushed up through the minor leagues so far, and rightly so with the stuff that he's got. But we have to remember that AAA hitters are not big league hitters. In AAA, there's two guys that can beat you in every lineup, maybe one. I mean, and maybe three. I mean, who knows? But not the whole lineup. And up here, the whole lineup can hurt you. So we saw Berrios dominate AAA and then come up and take 2 or 3 years to find out how to get big league hitters out. And now he's going through a little stretch where he's not getting big league hitters out as well. So the fact that a guy's throwing 100 and has a slider, you would expect that he would dominate the minor leagues all the way up through AAA. Now's the time it's time to see where he is in his development relative to big league hitters.
I want to ask you about the concept of the opener as applies to this team, and I want to ask you some good Twitter questions we have from some of our listeners. Do want to thank Tony Hoagland, Hoaglund, your State Farm agent in Champlin. I deal with him on the phone, by email, on the app, and I mentioned Barry Coffey's customer service. One of the things I really like about Tony and his business is how responsive and friendly everybody is.
Hey, Minnesota sports fans. This is your local State Farm agent, Tony Hoagland. I need you all to ask yourselves this question. If you're in an at-fault car accident and you are sued for $700,000, how much of that $700,000 will my current insurance company pay? If you are unsure or can't answer all 700,000, you need to give us a call. State Farm has been number one in car insurance since World War II and number one in homeowners insurance since 1964. For a no-obligation review of your current policies, call us at 763-421-4900 or check out our website at www.champlininsurance.com.
All right, so I'm philosophically opposed to the opener. I don't like it as a baseball trend, but I wonder if it might help this team. You see kind of a starting rotation that's struggling to get 5-6 innings a night. You have Berrios going through some problems. You have Perez, who's been a little who's been very up and down throughout the season. Odorizzi's been up and down throughout the season. I would just wonder if with all the pitchers they have in the big leagues right now, with Graterol being able to throw 100, with Littell and other people pitching really well out of the bullpen, would you be in favor of an opener as either a way to get through the regular season or in the postseason?
I don't think so in the postseason, specifically the quote opener, because I think the leash in the postseason would be really short anyway, right? I mean, I think that you might see in the second going on third time through the lineup, there's somebody warming up behind the starting pitcher. The opener, for the rest of this season is intriguing to me. That whole opener concept. But if you think about it, you do have a lot of arms out there in the bullpen. But you're saving Rogers, you're saving Romo, you're saving Dyson if and when he's healthy. Again, you're actually you're saving Duffy and Trevor May because they've fallen into a really nice role in the 6th and 7th. With some really good stuff going at hitters in the 6th and 7th before you get to those later inning guys that I mentioned, and they're also 7th and 8th inning options as well. So those, whatever that would be, five guys, you don't want in the 2nd, 3rd, 4th, or 5th, right? So you got other guys, and then you have to think, well, it's possible, even with as many pitchers as we have, it would be conceivable that we run a lot of guys out there and everybody at the same time gets knocked around, and now we've put ourselves in a bind innings-wise with the bullpen. So I'm not really sure about that opener concept. It worked really well first night in Boston. Dobnak was. And this is the two-edged sword. Dobnak was great. The first inning just dominated those, the first 4 hitters of Boston, which is not easy to do. And then they brought in Thorpe after that. So Dobnak looked really good. I loved his stuff. I loved how hard the ball was. He was throwing it with big sink. And then that was just one inning, and it felt like, man, it seems like he could go 2 or 3 with that stuff. On the other hand, because of the way he got through the lineup, they were able to plan for if that happens, then you got left-handers coming up in Benintendi and the first baseman whose name is I'm forgetting right now. And sorry.
No, I didn't say anything.
Oh, okay. So it worked out. It worked out pretty well, but I just don't see that as a with the starters that they have. I mean, I just don't. Other than to give a guy an extra day like they did Berrios, which they are obviously really prone to do. They like that whole concept of giving guys 5 days instead of 4 of rest. You might see that in that way, but I don't think we're going to see them go to their starters, the starters that they have, and say, hey, you're going max 2 times through the lineup, and then we're bringing somebody else in. I just don't think we're going to see that.
I'm glad you said that. I hope that's the case. Oh, by the way, were you talking about Moreland or Martinez?
Moreland. I'm sorry. Yeah. Yep,
okay.
Moreland.
Yeah. Hey, use Bite Squad. Promo code is Talk North. Get your first delivery fee waived. You can get breakfast, lunch, dinner, late night, ice cream, whatever you want delivered, and they will deliver anywhere you want, home, office, or elsewhere. Bite Squad, bitesquad.com, the Bite Squad app. Let's go to we have some good Twitter questions that I think are right up our alley. Let's go to those from our friend General Soreness. Lonnie, is momentum down the stretch any sort of factor once the playoffs start? I seem to recall a Twins team Roy was a part of lost the last 5 regular season games after clinching the AL West. And how did that turn out? That, of course, was the '87 team that won the World Series. I really don't believe in momentum in baseball unless it affects a team's psyche. But you're the expert. You tell me.
No, I don't think it's an issue at all. The electricity of playoff postseason baseball is momentum inducing enough. What you hope to see is guys swinging the bats pretty well. It's not about the wins down the stretch. Like once as you're about to clinch or do clinch, it's really about how your guys are swinging the bats, what kind of bats they're having. You don't want to go into the playoffs with 3 of your top guys in an 0 for 15 slump. That makes you a little nervous. But other than that, and even that changes. You can get guys on fire and they run into some pretty good pitching in the postseason and don't do anything. We've seen that a lot. But you can also see guys not swinging the bats well, particularly well, and then come out smoking, which is a little bit the way it was in '87. So I just don't. You want your guys having at bats that are quality at bats, whether they get hits or not. You want the pitchers having command of their fastball. You watch that. But other than that, I don't put a lot of stock in it.
From Nick Spinelli on Twitter, were you ever involved in a triple play?
Yeah, we're not going to talk about that.
So you're on the wrong end.
I was on the wrong end of a triple play. It actually happened. Now I have to. You're going to make me talk about it. It actually happened in the Metrodome. I had been traded by the Twins to the Yankees. I came back in '82 with the Yankees. Had a great first series, hit a bunch of home runs against them, and then the second time we came into town, there was one game where I was swinging the bat pretty well. I had a good eye to play, and I walked a lot. Certain pitcher was pitching that night against me, 2 guys on with nobody out, runners on first and second, and Billy Martin's the manager, so it would have been '83. That was the second year I was with the Yankees. We came back into Minnesota, and Billy starts the runners with 3-2 count on me and nobody out. And I knew the steal was on. I knew what he was thinking. I'm not going to swing at ball 4, and I'm really likely to put this ball in play against this particular pitcher. And all of the worst things happened. I mean, the ball I swung and missed inexplicably. I swung and missed a fastball up and away, and because it was a more like a hit and run with a 3-2 count, that the guy on second who couldn't run all that well, was hung up didn't get to third base, was hung up, and then the guys ran the bases really badly, and the Twins were able to get both guys in rundowns and tag both of them out. So I'm standing there at the plate, having struck out, watching a debacle unfold before my eyes on the bases, which resulted in a triple play for the Twins.
Wow, that sounds like every Little League team I ever managed.
It was kind of like that.
Oh, good Lord. Well, it's not really like hitting into a triple play. And you know what? Thing is, anybody who hits into a triple play probably hit the ball pretty hard for the defensive team to be able to turn it. It's not exactly a scarlet letter to have been involved in a triple play as an offensive play.
Right. Not if you put the ball in play. I mean, that haunted me for a long time because that was just something that I didn't do. I mean, I didn't swing at bad balls, and especially in that kind of situation. And that was one of those at bats that stayed with me a long time, and I still remember, obviously, with real remorse, because that was uncharacteristic of me. I did hit into a triple play one time, runners on first and second. It was in spring training. Runners on first and second. Johnny Goro was the manager, and again, it was I think it was a 3-2 count, and he started the runners. And I hit a bullet at the second baseman. It was really easy. It was line drive out, second to first, triple play.
Well, why'd you hit at him, Roy? I mean, why didn't you hit it someplace else?
I just Willie Keeler. I wasn't. I will tell you that. I had a hard time hitting them where they ain't.
It reminds me. I can't remember